Hi, everyone. I'm thrilled that you're here. And this is the first in a series called Mom Meets AI, where we will dive into the world of AI and artificial intelligence. It's such a overwhelming concept, and I know that as a millennial woman, with the side part to prove it, um, we want to learn AI, but it's hard, especially when you're juggling a career, your kids, the household, life. It's just like, where do you find the time to learn it? And I think it's a challenge. So I want this channel to be for moms, for millennial women to come to learn about AI. Forget the tech jargon. You do not need to be a technical expert to understand these concepts. So I'll be sure to really like break it down in plain, normal English so we can all kind of understand. So in today's episode, AI, machine learning. Can someone please explain what the F is this stuff? So we'll get into that today. Now, let's talk about what we're actually going to discuss. So, AI explained. I'm going to go over the overview of what is AI. Then I'll talk about the types of AI and where we actually fall today. Then we will get into machine learning and what that means and how it's actually related to AI. And why should you even care about any of this stuff? So I included the McKinsey and Company definition because I feel like this is the exact reason why people's eyes glaze over as soon as someone talks about artificial intelligence. They say it's a machine's ability to perform some cognitive functions we usually associate with human minds. It's like, can we get like a plain, regular, non jargon definition? So to make it more consumable for the rest of us. AI is when computers can do things that usually require a human brain, like making decisions or problem solving or understanding language. That's it. It really just comes down to computers being able to do things that humans can normally do. Now, I think that a lot of the media and a lot of the things you see on social media specifically makes you feel like you are completely behind when it comes to AI, and that's honestly not true. So, I want to start with what are the four types of artificial intelligence? So, reactive AI. So, this is like if you input something, it's going to give you something back. So, for Alexa, for example, we have one in my home. She's probably going to start talking. But hey, Alexa, what's the weather today? So it's going to give, yep, there she goes. So what Alexa does is I give her a command and she comes back with it. Siri does the same thing. But these tools are not tracking your preferences. It's not really giving you anything beyond your initial question. And then there's limited memory. So, a good example that comes to mind here is Netflix. So, Netflix will give you recommendations on what type of shows you should watch based on what you've watched in the past. ChatGPT actually falls into this category as well. So, you've actually been using AI for a lot longer than you probably realized. Um, and then the next section is theory of mind. So this is when AI actually understands human intentions and emotions. So this is an example of this would be that AI can recognize like when you're stressed or when you're upset or even when you're happy. There's no concrete examples of that today. And then future looking self awareness. So think of like a nanny who makes independent decisions, has feelings, emotions, and like it's kind of like the Jetsons type of nanny, or any of those like other futuristic type of movies that you've seen in the past where AI or robots take over the world. Okay. So now I want to ask you a question. And where do you think that ChatGPT falls on this list? I realize I already gave you the answer to that question, but the purpose of this question just was to show you where we're at in this AI journey. Okay. So, exploring this path of AI and the journey, let's dive into like a little closer look in where we're actually at. So, we talked about reactive AI and Alexa and Siri being an example. Some older examples that you've been using for a long time would be something like spell check. That's actually an AI tool. So, we are in the limited memory phase. So, all of those ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, all of those are actually limited memory AI. So, with that being said, you are an early adopter. And it's exciting to hear that and comforting because the fact that you're here shows that you're actually ahead of the game, especially compared to like a lot of other people. So, don't let the media feel like you're behind because you're truly not. So, like I mentioned earlier, theory of a mind, we're some experts say that we're about 10 years away, but I've also heard that things are happening a lot faster than expected. So, it's really hard to say when that will really come to fruition, but at the end of the day, researchers are working on it. And the self awareness, this is sci fi level stuff. And there's a good chance that we might not even see this type of AI in our lifetime because we're not even at step 2 or step 3 yet of theory of a mind. Keep in mind that researchers don't truly understand how human consciousness works. So, how can they possibly make a machine or a robot understand its own consciousness? So I think when you think back or take a step back and you're like, okay, so robots are not going to take over the world in 10 years, and realizing that you are actually an early adopter in all of this, I think that's a comforting thought, especially when you see where we're at on the timeline. So now I want to get into machine learning. So I think it's important to talk about this because one, you'll probably hear about it, but the term machine learning or also ML, it's just like, I don't know, it just sounds to me personally, it sounds a little intimidating. And again, I included the McKinsey definition and then one for the rest of us. So McKinsey says it's machine learning is a form of artificial intelligence that can adapt to a wide range of inputs, including large data sets and human instruction. Some machine learning algorithms are specialized in training themselves to detect patterns. This is called deep learning. Did anyone else's eyes glaze over? Because that is just like went right over the head, right? So to put it in plain terms that us millennials can understand, machine learning is when computers learn from data and they get better over time. It's kind of like how we learn from experience. So I think a real life example of this is like when you're showing a kid how to sort laundry. Over time, they will figure out where the shirts go, where the socks go, where the pants go. If you're actually, sorting your laundry like that, maybe when it's clean, I guess. But over time, we learn from those experiences. Also worth noting, machine learning is how many AIs like ChatGPT get smart. So in this next slide, I want to show you a visual about how it all kind of ties together. And AI is actually a umbrella. So artificial intelligence is kind of that overarching term, but within that, there's machine learning that's learning from data. And then within machine learning, that's where we see ChatGPT, which is also called generative AI, but it's a form of AI. So this is just what it looks like visually, so you can kind of understand like where this all falls and what it all means. So why should you care? There's actually a lot of ways that you can use AI to help you in your personal life. And being a busy mom and a former technical sales executive, I know that efficiency is kind of key to running a household. And there's a lot of ways that you can incorporate AI into your life, which I'll go into a lot of that into this series. But time saving, think about like meal planning, grocery lists, workout plans, Reducing the mental load. Like, we're all so ask fatigued. There's ways that you can use AI to reduce that. You have to remember everything for everyone and every appointment, and it's like it's very overwhelming. So there's ways that you can incorporate AI into your daily life to even help with those sort of things. Career boosting skills. I feel like this is the biggest thing that is talked about, especially like in the media. But there's a lot of ways that you can streamline your current tasks. I know a lot of organizations are doing a good job of education behind AI, but a lot of it is like very specific to roles. So it's hard to like think about different use cases or different ideas that in ways that you can use AI. But it can certainly give you a competitive advantage and competitive edge in this day and age. And then lastly, simplifying daily life. So you can automate things like remembering a birthday and getting a present. Like, there's ways to automate that kind of stuff, and create more personalized routines, and honestly just make better, faster, smarter decisions. There's just so many different ways that you can use it. And in this series, I'll be talking about how you can utilize AI to help with a lot of these things. So, to sum it up, you're not behind. You are early in this journey. Don't let anyone let you think otherwise. And the fact that you're here means you're already ahead. Again, you do not have to be a technical expert to understand these concepts. And that's why I created this series, because we need somebody to break it down, to talk to moms, to millennial women, because I know we all want to learn it. It's just one, finding the time, and two, kind of getting through all of the noise and all of the tech bros. Okay. This is not that at all. So in the next video of the series, I'm going to talk about something called deep learning. So don't let your eyes glaze over yet, but it is an important part of AI. And I wanted to separate it out because it just deserves a conversation of its own. So it'll connect a lot of dots for you. So tune in next time, and thank you for sitting in on my first of the series, Mom Meets AI.